Daniel Darwin.
My name is Julia Nebrija is the full name.
I'm otherwise known as Astro Boy. I hula hoop on fire for a living, and I do theater, and I live in Manila.
I'm transitioning more into how arts and culture transforms our city. And I've found my home in Malate. As someone who never had a home, that has been one of the most special things to me, I think, is like I'm part of something. That's my favorite part about being Filipino.
The title of our podcast is called In Fairness. In Fairness as a phrase is completely, I think, individual to Filipino culture. It's like an English phrase that is Filipino.
It starts off like the traffic is terrible and like, you know, the pollution is bad and it's difficult sometimes, but like in fairness, I love it.
In Fairness with Julia and Daniel.
I don't know how that happened. Like, how do you do it twice in a row? Like,
Hi
twice
everyone.
in a row.
Julia missed the stripes memo again.
Second time around, lesson learned, stripes are not flattering. So
When they're horizontal.
which no one sells vertical stripes.
When they're vertical, they're
No one-
slimming.
No one sells them though.
No.
That might be our
Really?
new business plan.
Are you
Vertical
sure?
stripes for slimness.
Yeah.
Distributed stripes in a way that makes you look like you have curves.
Yeah, we can market them to fat people, like vertical stripes for fat people.
You know what? There's a store here called Tubby.
Yeah, I know.
There was a store called
I think
Tubby.
that's great though. I think that's a great store.
I don't know if that's a great store.
No, you're right,
Called
because it's
Tubby.
like it reminds you. I mean, it tells you that you're fat when you're
It
not
tells
really.
you that you are called Tubby, like a Teletubby, is what it tells you. All right. Welcome to our show. It's
Hi,
episode
everyone.
3. We've made it to episode 3. I
Cheers.
can't believe it. Cheers. So much time has passed since our last episode.
Welcome
So-
to In Fairness with Daniel.
And Julia. Hello.
I moved my hand out of your shot.
Thank
I'm
you. He's
always
always in my
putting
shot.
my shit
Such a
into your
shot hog.
shots.
Shot hog is a thing.
Okay, so today, like every episode on In Fairness with Julia and Daniel, we like to start with an opening.
Find your camera.
An opening montage. Can we see the opening picture, please? Because I just like to recount this memory.
Oh, you asshole! Oh my god!
So the other day, Julia was hanging out at my house.
As if you didn't already put it on Twitter and now it is on this.
Yeah, well, you know, it's priceless. So we were
Oh
hanging
my
out at my
God.
house, which is as clean as it looks in this photo. And before we went up, we went to Mini Stop, and Julie was like, "I gotta get a Mars bar. I have to get a Mars bar." And then she was like hanging out in my place, and she stood up, and there was a Mars bar in her hair.
Oh my god! I thought that I threw it away, but I ate the Mars bar and I
was like,
sat up.
Julia, I just feel like there's a Mars bar in your hair.
Oh my god! Oh
So
my
I had
god!
to share it with the world. It's a really important discovery because this is a perfect example of the ways in which Julia and I, even though we do a lot of big shit, like organize music festivals in Intramuros, which is what we're going to talk about today, still refuse to become adults. Like,
Sometimes we get Mars bars stuck in our hair.
I was just like, you know what, adulthood? Not today.
Not today.
You can sit over there because you smell like shit.
Well, you know what? I mean, it's a little bit embarrassing, but you know, Mars bars is just like a very nostalgic candy bar for me. And I just was homesick, and I just needed to have
Just
a little
wanted
bit
it
of
all
home.
up in your grill.
I just needed a little
You
bit
know
of
what?
home.
Like a lot of things that are a little bit interesting. I mean, embarrassing.
Okay.
I.e. Mars bars in your hair and vertical stripes on television.
I mean, I cannot
I mean,
believe
horizontal
with the last conversation we've been having about how insecure I feel with these stripes, these very unflattering stripes. You put the Mars bar picture, but that's fine.
But it's-
I will
it's-
get
it's
you.
only-
I will get you in the future. Just you wait.
You're responsible
Just
for
you
the
wait.
next opening. But I'm saying that everything is only embarrassing until you make it a joke, right?
What
So
is
I
it- what-
embarrass
what is
myself
it-
all the time. I embarrass myself for a fucking living. I'm always the guy in the party who says the thing, right? I'm always the one who's like,
Like what? Like you open a beer bottle with your eyes? Like what do you do?
no.
Like you have like
Can
tricks?
you do that?
I just saw it. In
No,
a
I'm
movie
just
yesterday.
saying. I always say the thing that like is super embarrassing. Like last episode, I like admitted that I was downloading porn at Carlos Seltron's house.
That's true.
And what I'm saying is that it's only embarrassing until you're like, I'm gonna make that a joke by telling everyone about it, and then I stop being embarrassed about it. So that's a trick.
Is this a lesson for me or is this a lesson for you?
No,
I'm
just
not
in
sure what's
general, it's
happening.
something that I'm trying to
Oh,
convince
okay.
myself of, is
Oh,
that if
okay,
we can
alright.
make a joke of our the things about ourselves that we're most embarrassed about, then we'll stop being embarrassed about them. You know
Okay,
what I'm
so what
saying?
else are you most embarrassed about? What has
I
happened that you were...
aspirate my S's a lot. My S's are really gay sounding. Have you noticed? Yeah, everyone always looks at photos of me and are like, oh yeah, he's totally straight. And then they hear me talk and they're like, sir, babae ka ba? And I'm just like, it's my S's. And I used to be really embarrassed about them, but now I just kind of own it because, you know what? God made my tongue fat, so.
All right. Well, that's where
That's
we
what I
are
have
at
to say
today.
about that.
That's where we're at today. I really appreciate that Mars bar photo. Thank you so much.
Yeah, you know, that's what friends
Speaking
are
of
for.
Mars and planets such as Mars, we have been on a little bit of an alien kick recently.
Oh yeah, this is like a big discovery.
We have been
that
on a little bit of an alien kick. So
Julia had.
I decided to have a mid-year celebration party a couple weeks ago.
Because no one ever celebrates surviving 6 months.
No one ever, you only celebrate New Year's.
Yeah.
No one celebrates the mid-year point, and like the mid-year point is half the battle.
Yeah,
literally.
making it halfway
right?
through the year is
Making
a
it halfway
feat.
through the year
And I
is
think more
already
people
a
should
feat,
yeah.
right? So we should celebrate what happened for the first half of the year, bury it, leave it behind, all of your issues that happened, leave it behind, and then you welcome the next half of the year.
I think
right?
that's great.
Like I need to start thinking about things in 6-month increments because like otherwise
12
we
months
won't.
is way too
12
much.
months is way
It's
too
way
much.
too much.
So we're breaking it down in 6 months. So we had this alien disco party. It was super fun. We celebrated, you know, what happened and what's to come. And
it was awesome.
yeah, it was really cool. So we had art installations and one of my favorite things is basically getting people together and whatever it is that you are excited about, whatever it is that you do, what your interest is, just bring it on. You know what I mean? So like everything is all in one place. So we had art installation by Leroy New, Daniel and
man.
Marla. Marla is his sister-in-law, read tarot the
Yeah,
whole
we
night,
got to read
actually.
tarot for strangers. I love reading
Yeah.
tarot for strangers because you don't have to censor yourself at all. You're just like, baby girl, he's cheating on you. I'm so sorry, but
Yeah.
you got to get
You
yourself
got to
out
get
of that relationship.
Oh, so here's some costumes. That's Leroy over there. That's JK, and that's me.
Wait, that's Leroy in my Astro Boy
That's
costume.
Leroy in Daniel's
from
Astro
Tanong
Boy
Tanong.
costume.
And
which-
he looks way better in it than I did.
But
I'm
that's,
so
I mean,
envious.
it's Leroy, so
I
it's
know.
like, whatever.
Fuck you, Leroy.
This is Josh. He's wearing some of Leroy's costumes and very quite scary with some silver makeup. There's our
That's-
DJs.
yeah,
Our
my
DJs with
brother
some
Joel.
fun Leroy art there with blue light, and it's disco music the whole night long.
It's like an astronaut with two
Yeah. There's another. You can't.
Is
It's kind
your
of like
hookah?
there's our hookah.
Which was
With
such
a
an
new-
adventure.
a new
to
friend-
get.
a new friend
Julia
came
made
to
a
the
new
mix.
friend.
And he came in the mix, and he's really passionate about hookahs. He really
He
loves
taught
like.
us a lot of things about hookah.
You basically know nothing about hookahs until you've been taught by this guy. But he taught us how to soak the water in coffee beans and put oranges in it, and then like
Yeah.
mix the flavors with like spices and like vanilla and whatever. It was quite
didn't even
a
know that
well-rounded
hookah-
experience, sort of like drinking wine. Okay, hookah curation. There's nothing more.
Oh, that's one of Julia's good friends.
That's
named Miguel,
that's Power Ranger.
who
Power
kind of
Ranger.
he's kind of like a
and-
Power Ranger and kind of
Yeah.
like Prince Charming. So we call him Charming Ranger.
or
or
Prince
Prince Ranger.
or Prince Ranger sometimes. So
Yeah.
that's Prince Ranger, and that's me, in one of Leroy's
As
headpieces.
like as like the
as some
the,
kind of
the
like-
Queen of Hell disco.
Yeah, Queen of Hell Disco,
That's
pretty much.
awesome.
Yeah.
You have no photos of me, do you?
I have no photos of you because I kind of
Nobody takes
sometimes
photos of me.
don't like you. But
Nobody cares about Daniel.
no one really cares about
I was
you.
being worked like a mule, reading people's
Basically-
fortunes all night, and I looked fucking fantastic.
Which was so
this
fascinating
night.
because the one thing, okay, so the other part about alien disco is that alien to us and disco is something that is very much Manila, right?
Yeah.
So like alien is sort of this otherness, this very alternativeness, and it doesn't fit the realm exactly. It's otherworldly, but that's what kind of Manila in a way ends up embodying a lot of times when you want to get weird, you want to get, you know, a little bit
Where it's like
freaky,
you have to accept
you
it
can come
for
to
what
Manila.
it is.
We're talking
You
about
have
the
to
city of
accept
Manila, by the
life
way.
for what it is.
Yeah, we're talking about the city of Manila, not Metro Manila right now, right? And then disco works really well because there's a lot of awesome OPM, original Filipino music, disco, and disco as an era in the Philippines and for Manila was amazing.
It was
like if we
time.
could go back to that vibe that they had during the height of disco in Manila is what we are kind of trying to, in a way, get back to, but in a new modern way.
Yeah, like a revival.
In a way that makes sense for the Manila of today, right? So alien and disco, we feel like works really well just in general as a general theme of any party I might want to have.
Yeah, well, it's just a great theme because you can literally come as anything.
You can literally come as anything,
and
which
it works.
is what you should be able to live your life as in Manila. Like you should be able to live it as whatever you want to be.
And that's what I love about Manila within Metro Manila is you can literally dress as, present yourself, parade around, walk like anything you feel like that day, and no one will give you shit. I mean, unless they're trying to pick your pocket.
Right.
But
even then, they'll like think it's funny.
Yeah, they'll
be
laugh
like,
about it.
why are you dressed like that? Yeah. So we had a really fun time, and the alien disco theme turned out really well. We also realized that
we liked it so much that we're planning our like a Viva Manila alien disco party.
For the next January.
Sometime in the next few months. We'll
launch
definitely invite all of y'all's asses.
Yeah, for sure. And you should be there in costume because costume is fun.
Yeah, or you won't get let in.
Or you won't be let in.
No.
But
we'll have a bouncer jumping up and down on a trampoline.
On a trampoline, bouncing.
Bouncing. And it'll be like, you can't fucking come in.
Yes, no.
No,
yes,
you're horrible.
No. Up, down.
Puede.
Yeah. We also realized with the disco, alien disco theme, mid-year party was that it's been kind of an intense year, but it's just also, I mean, people were lining up for their tarot. They were like, read my tarot.
Yeah,
Daniel
really
like couldn't even, I was like feeding him
realize.
drinks into my room. So we had like mind expansion, we had tarot, we had hookah, I had kaleidoscopes, we had like all these different things, and people were just, it was fun, it was really fun, but it was also a little bit intense. Like everyone's at a really kind of point where everyone's working hard, but
everyone wants to be told by the universe that they're doing the right thing right now.
Everyone is being told by the universe that they're doing the right thing, but it's a lot of hard work to then fulfill it.
Yeah, exactly.
Like
they're just like, I just need a reminder that I'm on the right path.
Exactly. Like, and you're getting those reminders, but to actually fulfill that reminder and make it reality is a lot of effort. And I think that that's kind of what we learned
with Fête.
Yeah. But before we get to that, can we show our aliens of Manila?
So we like the alien disco party theme so much.
And a couple of our friends started this thing called Aliens of Manila. You can find it on Facebook. You can also find it on Twitter, Aliens of Manila. And we're sort of like uploading just these random scenes that happen in Manila. This is very specific in a way because it's Leroy News costumes on Sipat Lawan, and they are performing. This is pictures from the anniversary of Jose Rizal, and they were reimagining how he might be today. So it was like this very fantastical reinterpretation of Jose Rizal.
And that's Rizal Park.
In Rizal Park, next to his monument, which is ground zero of Metro Manila. So Aliens of Manila, contribute to it, reinterpret it, take it on to be your own.
Do you have any other photos of Aliens of Manila?
Just the ones that we showed of us. So we basically have Alien Disco and Aliens of Manila.
Check it out, guys.
It's a very, very, very small.
I think that this is something that Julie and I want to push for. Like the idea that living in Manila, if we could branch it out to Metro Manila, but where the alien in you? You know, because
exactly.
The loveliest thing to me about Manila is that everyone kind of just accepts you no matter what the fuck you are. And that's like what I would love to do to an alien that I met.
But which is so contradictory to our last episode where we say that everything is supposed to be you're supposed to.
Yeah, no,
and
but I
there's
think
that
that
very
there's such a
weird
difference
contradiction
between
because it's
accepting
like,
someone and
yeah.
buying shit from someone.
Exactly.
Like we were talking about an industry that has a message to sell.
Yeah.
It has a product to sell. So they need to enter into that.
And this is
that
kind of
realm.
our counterpoint, which is that there's actually this whole other world of what Manila might actually be or is. There's a whole other undercurrent that exists. And so that's kind of what we want to talk about
And
more
for Julia
today.
and I, we find that undercurrent of Manila's identity that's like not the sort of underarms, glutamax frequency. We find a frequency for Manila's identity, and we find it through art because the sort of the people that I've met who love being Filipino outwardly every
100
like 24/7
right.
are artists.
So like 10% lighter or whatever, like 10% weird, 100% alien would be like would be what we're aiming for, as opposed to 10% lighter, 100% social
or approved.
Right? Or approved,
Yeah,
or whatever else it was, right?
Yeah. So on that note, Julie and I are coming off. Here, wait. I just have to congratulate us.
I have to congratulate you for doing such an awesome job. Daniel was our program coordinator for Fête de la Musique, the first ever Intramuros edition. It's only usually held in Makati, in the business district, for the last
3 years.
And
then before then, it was in Eastwood.
Okay.
Not Eastwood, Ortigas by Podium.
Ortigas to Makati, and then finally the
But
first
it's
one
never
after
been
seven,
held-
after
it's
7
never been
years
held in
of Fête de la
Intramuros.
Musique, which is the major cultural event of Alliance Francaise, the cultural arm of the Embassy of France, the extension of the French people. I'm just kidding. like
pontificate.
Like
Just
so many, I
pontificate,
know,
baby.
exactly. It's like so many things. Was finally held in Intramuros. And we were
they did this
so
really cool-
happy
yeah,
that
they
Viva
did it.
Manila was the, what were we? We were the partner, the
Basically, what happened
the-
was they were like, "Yo, so in France, Fête de la Musique happens in the streets. Like everyone, art is the thing. It's not like one stage, you know."
Right.
So somewhere along the line, B-Side, who is this beautiful sort of production events company and arts management company that our friends work in, joined up with Alliance Francaise and invented the idea of pocket stages. So you have the main stage, and then you have all of these other pocket stages. So that broadened Fête. And then this year, Alliance Francaise approached Viva Manila and was like, we want to broaden Fête outside of the pocket stages and add dance and installation
art.
work and like a whole environment for a festival. And that is like...
that's what resulted. So we have some...
Yeah, that's what Viva Manila gets off on. So that's what we
So
did.
basically, this is going to continue to loop because we won't be able to explain them fast enough. But we had a number of different art installations. So the site that we had is a historic site in Intramuros called
It was like a
Maestranza.
galleon port.
So there's all of these tunnels, all these chambers, and then there's a plaza area where we had the main stage for the music.
Oh, that's me, like crazy. I hadn't slept in 3 days. Look at me. I look like Jack Nicholson, man. I am like insane.
I don't see the comparison, but I was gonna say maybe like Johnny Depp in Pirates of the Caribbean, even though that's way too flattering.
Whoa.
But
Whoa, Julia.
Do you
Julia,
love-
I just had to
oh, you're
cross
not the
my
one who
legs.
loves. Oh wait, Carlos hates Johnny Depp, not you. Okay.
No, I don't hate him.
So we
He's
had
like,
vendors.
he's
So
like
this is a
white
beautiful
bread.
vendor that we have called Indie Green.
Oh,
They sell
yeah.
dream catchers that
Indie
they
Green
hand
is
make.
amazing.
They hand
live
make
in
dream
Batangas.
catchers. Like dream catchers. Have one in your room. It's the best thing that you can do for yourself.
They
Put a dream
hand
catcher in
make
your room.
dream catchers. They hand make jewelry.
Yeah.
They're incredible.
They're incredible. They
Indie
drum
Green.
meanwhile.
Oh yeah,
They drum
this is,
meanwhile.
There's a couple. There's Kved and there's
Kved?
Kved.
Kved, okay.
Kved. His name is Jack Lopez. He sells really cool shirts.
Wait, can you slow down for a bit?
Can we go back one?
Yeah, all right.
And then this is Harley or Django Arts, and I forget what their name is, but Django is basically the name of their
Yeah.
establishment, and they sell really cool shit too.
Really cool stuff. So we had like a vendor space. So basically, Fête was only before just music venues, purely music venues. So we added the art and the music.
We
so
added
the
all
art,
these
the art
artisanal,
performance,
vendors.
and then the vending vending portion. So here is a picture of. So Leroy and I and also another artist named Kulai,
partnered
together to do all of the art. So we had this challenge where we went to Divisoria, which is the biggest market in Manila that sells everything in bulk, like everything you want. You want 100, like.
Do we have photos of you guys shopping at Divisoria like that,
right.
man?
So this is
amazing.
what we bought.
Divisoria is
so we
amazing.
went on like the Grand Divisoria Design Challenge. So we went with like go back again. We went with a couple thousand pesos, and the three of us as designers, and we were like, okay, we have to just find whatever materials we're going to use in Divisoria, and then we're going to just design all of the installations.
Wait, you got to tell people where Divisoria is for all of our like rich fucker friends who haven't ever
It's in
been
Manila.
to
It's in the city of Manila. If you go to Chinatown, to Lucky Chinatown Mall, you go through the back, and there's 168, and then there's all this market space. So it's like everything is sold in bulk. So what you're seeing here right now is this, Pogs. Pogs, that thing that you play.
Yeah, I had Pocahontas Pogs. I loved them.
Of course you did.
You always shit on my Disney princess
no,
face,
I don't, because I
man.
also love Disney princess, but you're always like, it's so surprising that I thought I was
for
Mulan when I was
me,
growing
it's
up.
very-
And it's like, of course you thought you were fucking Mulan when you were growing up. Like, come on. Of course you had the Pocahontas Pogs.
Of course I had the Pocahontas
I love
Pogs.
Pocahontas.
The Pocahontas.
And you know what? That's also where I have my John Smith complex from, I think.
Yeah, you do go for John Smith.
I do have a John Smith complex because
I'm
of
not
Pocahontas.
so into the John Smith, I'm not gonna lie.
Well,
I'm more into like black hair, blue eyes, like the cores.
So Pogs.
Talk about Pogs.
So
Just
Pogs.
take it away.
So you
Take it
can
away.
buy in Divisoria, you can buy the
That's
empty
JK Anicoche.
the empty Pog frame. So after they actually pop the Pogs out to sell the Pog toy, there's a frame that has the empty Pog. It's the empty cells, right? You can buy them. We bought stacks of them, like stacks and stacks and stacks for 100 pesos. Okay.
It's
and we made
amazing.
an installation out of them.
So
That's Leroy,
that's
who's an
Leroy here.
amazing visual designer. He has his work has been on Lady Gaga's albums. Like she's wearing one of his tops. That's like
He's
insulting.
incredible.
That's an insulting thing. I said it was a top, but like she's wearing one of his pieces.
No, he makes pieces that are wearable.
They're wearable pieces that she is wearing on the cover of her Marry the Night, or what is it called?
Marry the Night.
Marry the Night.
God, you are the worst
I am
at
the worst.
plugging people.
I am the worst at plugging people. I can't even remember what shows you were on.
You're like, he did that thing with that girl,
that
the one
girl.
who like,
Her name is
I
like
don't know,
Gaga
she's like
or
weird.
something.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So Leroy is amazing.
Leroy is just like we just bowed on
Check
Leroy.
him out. If you want to check his
It's New Leroy.
Okay. Yes.
Isn't it?
Yeah. The Instagram chorva. But if you go to Greenbelt 5 right now, his
he has a solo
he has
show
an exhibit up
right now. But you can also find him on Twitter and Instagram as New Leroy, I believe, with LROY, NEWLROY.
Just look for Leroy.
This is Kulai over there.
The one in the middle with the
second
green.
in the middle. He is also an amazing artist. He does a lot of work with found objects. He has this beautiful piece that I love, which is rocks that were thrown by squatters during protests when informal settlements were trying to be taken down, and then he paints a side of them gold.
Amazing.
Really beautiful. And then this is JK right here. He is the director of Sipat Lawan, who is one of our
artistic director.
Artistic director of Sipat Lawan, who is one of our favorite performing art
Yeah,
groups
for me, it's. I mean, they're
in the
the, they're
Philippines,
they're the
yeah.
people who are making, to me, the bravest theater and the most original theater in Manila that I can see.
Yeah, for sure. And we're going to talk about them more a little bit later.
Yeah.
So JK is buying. So here we are. These materials here are these mats that are made out of leftover pieces of sandals that we call chinelas.
Yeah.
It's a plastic sandal that everybody wears here. The leftover pieces are made and they're woven into a mat. So we ended up using those for the typography of Fête de la Musique that we hung over the walls. And there's JK messing with some pieces that he bought for their performance as well. So that's us in Divisoria during the grand
Divisoria is
Design
amazing. You
Challenge.
can get anything. You can get a
get-
suit made there
buy
for like
birds
less than $100.
and then get a suit, and then you can get like things for your house, and then also buy bejewels, and you can buy, oh, I include this picture because this thing that you see on top, which is the stringed pieces with the floating triangles, is called banderitas.
Oh, you can't see me.
Oh, you lost your arm.
I lost my arm. Did you see that? That was
wow,
so sick.
do it again. Oh.
Oh God, oh God. Oh, they're back.
Okay, so banderitas is something that is hung in the streets, and it signifies that you are in a special place in a way. It's for fiestas. It's also to highlight a street. It's one of my favorite
anything
forms
religious.
it's my favorite visual marker that we have in the streets of Manila.
If Jesus is about to die or died or like has died,
right?
Banderitas.
Banderitas. So I really love it. Usually they're made out of like recycled materials or something like that, but they're this beautiful street marker. And one of our pieces was actually inspired by the banderitas, which is why I showed it. So I don't know what's next. Oh, back to the market space.
This is crazy for me.
Now,
like
inside
the reason I look
chambers.
like Jack Nicholson is because this is the first time that my brain, so I write plays for a living, right? So my brain is normally like this. It's like, should I write cannot or can't?
Right.
You know, like it's like this, right?
Comma.
Yeah.
Semicolon.
And now I'm dealing with like 26 vendors, all of whom have their own businesses, like over half of whom are sponsors with like emailed lists of demands. And it's like, I had a clipboard, dude. I had a clipboard.
You should have had a fanny pack. It's like the only thing that you were missing.
I know, a clipboard and a fanny pack and like a little assistant.
Right.
But I didn't have any of those.
We had no budget.
I had a clipboard, but that was it. I couldn't get an assistant. No, but it was amazing. It was amazing. I felt like I activated so many different hidden chambers of my cortex, like of my brain, because it was like, it was the first time that, like, this is why I have so much respect for event organizers, is because your brain in normal life, it's like, I have a job to do, so I'm going to do my job, right? But if an event organizer has to do their job, but their job is planning out the jobs of like over like dozens of other people. So it goes like this, right?
Right.
And I did not know that my brain could do that. And handling
good for
these
you.
guys
and good
was
for you.
crazy.
And you know what? We organized this in 1 month as Viva Manila. And it was our biggest job yet, but I think we did a pretty good job. But you know what? It's also because we are so lucky to have a network of people who are such amazing individuals. Like these vendors, it's not just like, we don't just have any vendors, right? These are people who are hand making all of their products.
With us, man, because we're like, Viva Manila keeps fucking up. Like we make a lot of mistakes. We're trying, you know, but we're
trying.
We're trying to defeat red tape that hasn't even been strung across yet. It's like we're forging a path.
It's not been easy, but
like
you know what? The thing is that we have, like, the reason why we do it is because there is so much potential and there are so many amazing people that just need these kind of platforms. Like, it's not about us at all. Like, the fact that all these businesses exist and they're making their own products, they're doing their own thing, they have all of these. I bought a t-shirt, I don't have it here, but this awesome t-shirt it's a graphic print inspired by the rice terraces.
Yeah,
that
it's
just
amazing.
I mean, it's on like, it's gorgeous. Like, it's so
and
awesome.
I think that's why these vendors stick with us.
And that's also why we need to keep having events like this where we give a platform to different types of people, right? So it's not just the malls. It's not just like this advertising. Like, we are, seeing this movement be built of all this other stuff that relates to our identity, that relates to our urbanity, that relates to everything that could be really important, you know what I mean? And so these are the types of places that we get to see all of this manifest, and that's why it's so exciting for us. So can we see another, what's next? Here's our main stage. All of our, Fête de Musique is organized by, or funded by, Alliance Française usually. This portion was funded by the Department of Tourism. There was actually nothing French about the whole thing. We had Filipino vendors.
The one French DJ canceled.
He canceled. We had Filipino artists,
which is fine because there was
Filipino
like 10 people.
performing artists, Filipino musicians, Filipino art. We had Filipino vendors, Filipino food trucks. We had Filipino everything.
That's fine. That's like what Fête de Musique is.
So remember those POG things before? So here's the screens that we created in the space out of them, and the dancers from Aya's company, Deloy.
Well, actually, so this is Deloy dance company, but this is actually
Yeah.
PJ Rebelida, who you can't really see behind his arms, but he is a young choreographer dancer who was working in Germany for a few years and then came back here after an injury because he missed audition season just to sort of check things out. And like Julia and I sort of just fell in love with the art scene that was happening underground in Manila and started doing his own work. So this is a piece that he actually choreographed in Germany, but I was really interested in sort of having him redo it in this chamber, you know, because the German aesthetic is very sharp. It's very sort of, it has a different grace than the other pieces that you saw, for example.
Right.
You know, like it's more atonal, it's more ragged, and it's more intense. And I thought that the claustrophobia of the chambers would really work well with that. And I think that your pogs were just gorgeous with that whole movement, like the sharpness of them and everything.
I feel like it really created an environment for it, and
people loved it.
It forced people to get together as opposed to having like just like a stage, and then the audience, like everything got filled in, which I thought
people
was
were
really
like
cool.
this, and they were sweating, and PJ was sweating on people.
Yeah,
and
it was good.
Gorgeous.
Everybody was mixed
gorgeous.
up together, so it was really cool.
Yeah.
There's another shot of sort of like you can start to see the tunnels, and then we had these hanging screens.
These storage chambers were beautiful from the olden,
they were really
colonial
just,
age.
you know, that was the best thing about this location was that we had to learn more about scale because the outside space was so massive and the main stage was so massive. And Intramuros is still not a place that everybody will go to on a weekend. We were competing with Makati. We were competing with all the main stages and the pocket venues in Makati.
There's a lot going on.
What our biggest advantage was having all of a series of intimate spaces.
Right.
And here you can see Sipat Lawan did a performance. This really, so
we haven't talked about Sipat Lawan
So
at
Sipat
all.
Lawan does.
Sipat Lawan is our favorite
The catchwords
company.
are like experimental and site specific, but like they will cringe if you say either of those things,
Yeah,
right?
they die.
They would like die if you say them, but that's like the catchphrase to describe them. But for instance, just without describing them, just to tell you what they did for this event, because of the chamber aspect, because it's Intramuros, because it's this other space that doesn't have much attention, it's only considered as heritage, right? But it's so much more than that. They devised a piece where they basically became construction workers and planners and visionaries.
And the piece was called On This Site Will
Visionaries
Rise.
of the city, and dressed up as construction workers and narrated what the space could be. Like that is
They worked one-on-one with audience members to reimagine
the
space that they were in as anything it could be.
As anything it could be. It was so. As an urban planner, that's like one of those kind of fantasies that we have where you try to make it participatory, you try to make it inclusive, and you basically talk to the people who are using the spaces, and that's what you use as your meat to then build the rest of it, right? So Sipat Lawan, through performance, did just
that.
that.
They did it through performance.
They did
and
it
not
through
only that,
performance.
what they
Sorry,
did
go back.
after that was so that was their first performance, and then at
Yeah.
around 11:30 they came back on. And they turned off all the lights in one of the chambers. So all of these chambers are completely dark at night, and they're filled with mumu, like filled with ghosts.
Like
Just
so
like
ridden with
crazy.
ghosts.
Like
we actually
I was
left
there.
you there, but
Yeah,
I
they
actually left
me
him
there
by himself.
alone.
I know, that was so bad.
Well, I wasn't alone. I was with all of the tech suppliers, and we were waiting
the
for these
ghosts.
giant tents to be set up, and they were 9 hours late. So I was there until 1 a.m. alone, and I'm smoking in the back these chambers that you guys have seen, and it's completely black, and there's balete trees everywhere, and it's just fucking terrifying. Like you can feel the ghosts being like, "What you doing there?
Yeah.
What you up to?" You know? And I was like smoking a cigarette, and I was just like, you know what? I'm not scared of you. And as soon as I said that, 3 dogs, black dogs, came trotting out of the chambers. Black dogs. They came trotting out of the chambers, and they looked at me, and then they took 3 steps towards me, and they went like that. And I was like, fucking aswang. And I just ran away. Like aswang are like our version of, I guess, vampires? Like
It's like a half
The
monster
manananggal are like
and
half women, half bat.
But like the terrifying thing about
basically, they come
aswang
for you in the
is
night.
it's like they come for you in the night and they will like eat your insides. Like
Yeah,
they will
through
like
your belly
eat,
button.
They will like eat you from your belly button through your belly button.
Especially
like,
if you are pregnant.
What?
So
That's like so
use condoms.
fucked up. Anyways, so yeah, we left. I got a string of text
for
messages.
the RH bill I've ever heard.
Oh my god, that would be.
You want to
brilliant.
avoid aswang? Wear a fucking condom.
Wear a fucking condom. That you might be onto something.
I think I'm onto something. I'm gonna call.
You might be onto something. And then I left Daniel there.
Yeah, she left
for like
me there.
hours. I had to go do something, and he was just like texting me. He's like, "Just come get me whenever you're ready. Whenever you're ready, I'm ready. Just just come get me whenever you're ready."
Yeah, I was like,
yeah.
I'm just here.
I was like, "Are you okay?"
Freaking out.
He's like, and then I had to.
No, but I swear to God, I did.
Go inside.
I did. Yeah, and then she's like,
I asked you. I was like, "Can you just like go inside?" I've left something inside the chamber. She's like, "Can you just go get it inside the chamber?" And he's like, "The lights are out."
I was like, "No,
I'm by
not gonna
myself.
happen.
I cannot go and
I
get your
cannot go
shit
in there
inside
alone.
of a chamber.
I will come out with like scratches and shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, but anyways,
Exactly.
so what Sipatlawan did, because they're crazy and fearless, is they turned the lights off in one chamber at 11 p.m. And they had each learned all of the lyrics and to like a number of different songs of a certain genre. So one person was rock and the other person was like pop and the other person was like heavy metal and whatever.
It was
And
so awesome.
and what they would do is they would sit you down and they would like whisper a concert into your ear.
So it's called one-on-one.
So it was like a one-on-one concert. So while the big concert was going on outside, people would wander through these chambers and they would go into this chamber that was completely dark and there would be all these people and someone would just take them by the hands and sing a whole concert.
Like someone was rapping
into their,
someone was like, it was amazing.
Ears. And people,
it was so cool.
And I was talking to some of the actors afterwards and they were saying that some, like people were like, "Can I give you anything back?" And people were singing songs back to them.
Oh,
like,
that's so awesome.
It was just a gorgeous exchange.
Because
you know?
that's exactly what it should be, is it's about interactions, right? And that's what I love about Sipatlawan, is that they facilitate these very, very participatory interactions that end up creating the work, right? Like the work is not just, and I think that relates to all of us, like what I do with like the Labyrinth, what we do with a lot of our different art, is that it creates a chance for people to be interacting in a way that they wouldn't have. You're not just an audience member. Right?
I mean, speaking of interacting, can we look at Julie and I actually, the first time we actually worked together was in this production that Sipatlawan did called Love, This Is Not Yet a Musical, which they shortened to #LoveNot. And it was the coolest thing ever. And Julia and I had known each other, but this is the first time that I got to discover Julia as an artist. And I think this is the first time that you kind of got to discover me as a poet.
Or
right?
myself as an artist. Like I didn't even know,
yeah, or Julia. So this is what I did. So what I did, so Sipatlawan, this is just to give you an example of how crazy Sipatlawan is. So Sipatlawan had known about me as like a fire hula hooper in the past through Talentadong Pinoy and shit. But I had gone to Sipatlawan's shows because I was actually really interested in the theater that they do. So I contacted them and I was like, "Hey guys, can I join in Love Not? I'm really interested in this process." Love Not is a play that was 4 hours long. What they did was they took love as a concept and they divided it into 4 gods. Tanaw, or vision, alaala, or memory, lamig, or cold, and init, or heat, you know? And they accepted submissions from artists of every genre from all over the world. There were at this point, it's over 400 playwrights and contributors who have submitted pieces to this show, and it runs 4 hours. And this run that we worked on, well, we worked on both runs. But this,
both runs, yeah.
The first run was in this abandoned resort, like with a swimming pool that that audiences had to get into. Like they were being baptized in a pool. Yeah. This one was in an old arts warehouse on Commonwealth Avenue in the middle of a squatter area. And when I met with them, I was like, "I'm really interested in this piece, and I've written a bunch of poems about love." And they were like, "We love this poem about love. Can you do it while hula hooping?" And I was like, "No, that's not physically possible." And they were like, And I was like, okay, give me 2 weeks. And I did it. I'm so proud of myself.
It was amazing. So he's basically hooping in fire while reciting poetry, his own poetry.
Yeah,
and
like a slam poem while spinning.
It's pretty powerful. And at the end, he takes the fire and puts it out in his mouth.
Yeah, I eat fire. That's on my Grindr profile.
Well, it should be.
I should be. I'm gonna add it.
So
oh my God! Yeah. So these are just some photos of the thing. But what I was so impressed with the work that Julia did, working with Leroy and a few other people.
Yeah.
She did this labyrinth that you should talk about.
I'm super into labyrinths. I really like
What is a labyrinth?
Well, it's an ancient form of walking meditation, actually. Everyone thinks that it's like a maze. It's not so that you have to get lost in. It's a way to experience yourself and experience your surroundings.
Just
so that can be, and that can be interpreted in a number of different ways. So the way that we interpreted it for this piece was hanging sheets that ended up creating a series of different performance spaces that you ended up interacting with people in different ways in. So it's kind of like a surprise at every corner type of thing. I'm not sure which.
So many of the ensemble members
there's some. The pictures are the blue with sheets, if you have them in there.
I don't think we had any.
I did. I put them there.
So
there's
this one,
everything. So that's like somebody doing a spoken word thing, a one-on-one type of concept again. I think there's one of you actually. What's another one?
Oh yeah, that was a crazy thing.
There you can kind of just slightly see people through it with their individual lights, but it was quite a dark space.
It explored what it means to be with someone and not be with someone.
And not be with someone at the same time. It's transparent, but it's isolating, and then you have these certain peek holes that you see people through, and you can see what other people are doing with the interactions that are the different performances throughout the space.
Yeah.
So it's it was pretty interesting. There's you.
Oh yeah,
so
that's me.
Daniel.
So I was wearing a blindfold that said "the one that got away."
Oh my God.
And then I would just slow dance with people. So I would just hold my hand out.
Yeah.
For like 20 minutes, and someone would take my hand, and then I would dance with them. And as I did so, I would start to talk to them, and I would say things like, "I'm sorry it didn't work out." And then they would just. I had 3 women just cry and sob into my neck.
Yeah.
One woman was like, "Do you think I'm pretty?" And I was like, "Of course I do. I just can't express it." Like I mean, I had conversations with people.
Yeah, it was
where
really
they
intense.
just talked to me as though I was their ex, and that's something that Sipat Lawin forges the path for as a company.
Totally.
And that's why both of us, coming from completely different areas, we're like, yes, let's work together.
Yeah,
so
totally.
Sipat Lawin Ensemble, check them out, man.
On
they're
Facebook,
incredible.
Because they don't have a website yet because they're too busy to even do it.
Yeah, they're too busy like fucking trying to make money enough to live because no one spends money on theater in this fucking country.
A repertoire that is like totally immense. You have to just check them out. So what else do we have from Fête? We have
no, that's from Love Now.
I mean from Love Now. Oh, my kaleidoscopes.
Oh yeah, and that's when you premiered your kaleidoscope.
Yeah, so I'm super fascinated with kaleidoscopes, which I think I mentioned in our introduction. So I created 4 different kaleidoscopes. One of them I think got broken, but they were the different gods.
You put dish soap in it.
Because I put dish soap. I mean, it was experimenting, but it fell apart. So it was the different gods, and they were also all found materials. Like this one has like a lollipop in it, a straw, and like some flowers that I found. I don't know. The other one had things that I just a film strip that I found, and some other materials that I basically just walked around the streets in the area around where we were performing and just found different things.
Oh yeah, like
put them
leaves
inside.
and shit.
Leaves and just different random trash and stuff like that. So there's how they looked, and then. There's some others, people looking through them.
So
that was
that's this amazing actor.
So the thing is, kaleidoscopes don't actually have to be that large, but I wanted them to really be like a scope, so that what you're seeing, like when you go to New York or you go to other places, you're like seeing what you're seeing an actual landmark. But like for Metro Manila, we don't always have landmarks to speak of. Like there's something that
anything can be made beautiful.
But anything can be made beautiful, and that sort of mash of different things is beautiful. So through the kaleidoscope with these different objects, we can kind of start to see have this reinterpretation of what we're looking for in terms of a landmark, right? So that's why they're so large, because they don't actually have to be that big, right? But these are just people experiencing the kaleidoscopes during Love Knot, which is a cool introduction before you actually move into the performance space.
So I guess that's what Julie and I wanted to talk about on this episode of In Fairness.
In fairness,
it's
to
just
bring
like,
us back from the cultural mishap that is whitening and the cultural mishap that is all of those other things.
People tell you through TV and advertisements that like Filipinos aren't cool and that we're ugly and that we're dark and that we're stupid and that we're hideous, but don't believe them, because like for me, like I go to parties now and there are like people playing guitar and people live choreographing music and everyone is just loving on each other and creating. Like, to me, Filipinos are the most creatively abundant and brave voices that I've ever encountered. And and Julie and I, through Viva Manila, are getting a chance to work with, employ, pay. You know,
actually,
like for two of these artists, it was the
pay.
first time that they had ever been paid for their choreography. And if you'd seen their choreography, I mean, it's just...
It's unbelievable.
It's incredibly.
Can we go back to a picture
brilliant.
that said Fête de la Musique and there's dancers on top of like a wall or something?
Oh yeah,
like
can we see that? Like
we'll end with that image
in the Fête de la Musique.
In the Fête de la Musique folder. There
that
we go.
One. I mean, that's
these are two
man.
unbelievable choreographers dancing on top of a heritage space on walls. And
while Imago was playing on the stage.
While another artist is playing on stage, and you have you saw those. This is that the mats that I showed you earlier that created the pipe typography. This is some kind of pipe that we found in the market, and that's what. You can. The last part is a pipe too, but you can't see. This is fish balls and like hot dog plates that we stapled together. I mean, for me, it's just that it's not publicized. It's not talked about. It's not even really reviewed half of the time. And there is so much unbelievable, creative, innovative art that's happening in Metro Manila that for me is going to be our strong point. That is going to make us. I think that we would be like I don't even want to compare it to other cities, but that's going to be our angle. There's not going to be this one monument, this one landmark, this one thing that makes people love Manila. It's going to be all of this creativity and all of this art that is going to put everything on the map, and that for me is the crux of the urban identity that we're moving towards.
And I mean, I think that last photo, the Fête de la Musique photo, with Aya and Eric dancing on the top, and these found objects bought for less than 6,000 pesos at Divisoria, creating Fête de la Musique, this international festival. I mean, that photo to me just encapsulates what you and I believe in, which is that Manila in its everythingness, even in its ugliness, can be made beautiful if you just change your paradigm.
Yeah.
And look at it. And just say, well, what's true about this? Like, what can I do with these extra straps of chinelas? What can I do with these things that I eat fish balls out of and then throw away? What can I make with this? What can I do on the top of this abandoned galleon port that the Spanish built, that the Americans bombed? And we never touched again because we thought it was a ghost town.
This is the first event of this scale that has been hosted in
since
this
the fucking Americans bombed the shit out of us.
Yeah. So it's a very good relaunch. And
Sorry, I got so angry.
It's a very good reinterpretation of the space.
Bitter Ocampo.
Yeah, Bitter Ocampo over here. It's a very good relaunch in a positive way.
But the point is, because we're wrapping up, we gotta wrap up.
Yeah.
The point is that, like, I'm so excited about my life here because I know the coolest people, and what makes us all cool is that we want to make truth. And we want to do so by taking what we have and making beauty out of it. Like, you take leaves and dish soap and you make a kaleidoscope. Leroy takes chinelas and whatever, like orange, pipes and police bands and makes worms and aliens out of them.
Yeah.
Sipatlawan takes these abandoned, bombed out chambers and makes a construction site to re-envision Manila. You know, and
Right.
we take a
It's-
music festival and we program interarts into it. We program interdisciplines into it to say that culture is found in art, but art is found in more than one genre. It's found in everything that you
It's
can
found in
make.
every genre. I think that the fascinating thing is that you can see all of this culminating and intersecting and manifesting in Metro Manila and the city of Manila specifically, as we found during Fête Musique. We learned that there needs to be more opportunities like this, more platforms like this for all these interesting, fascinating people that we encounter all the time. Not just our friends, but just so many different types of people in general that we continue to encounter and find here. So we're super excited to continue to feature them on the show.
Yeah.
We're really excited to continue to talk
We're
about
gonna
them
start
with you.
interviewing our
Yeah.
artist friends for
Exactly.
you guys
So
to get
we'll
to
bring
know.
them here so you can talk to them and be able to have more dialogue with them. So thank you so much. That is our third episode. In fairness, we went over a little bit.
We
but
survived,
it was
bitches.
worth it.
I love you.
The views and opinions expressed on any program are those of the persons appearing on the program and do not necessarily reflect the views and opinions of the New Media Factory. Some programs on this network might include strong images and language and may not be suitable for all audiences. Viewer discretion is advised.